Okay, so this is going to be the most expensive TechWiser video yet because we got 4 new iPhones. Jokes aside, Apple launched 4 iPhone series, but the biggest upgrade is with the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro Max. And we also got the iPhone 15 Pro to see the most popular white titanium color. Sorry, natural titanium. Now, just like any other flagship, there's nothing great in this. The natural titanium iPhone, paperwork, white Apple stickers, and look who's here. Type-C to Type-C cable. A braided one, which is good. But here's the most interesting part. If you look at the back of the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max, it says assembled in China. Whereas for the base iPhone 15, it is assembled in India. And that's why if you compare with the USA pricing, the base iPhone 15 and 15 Plus didn't see a price increase. Whereas the iPhone 15 Pro and the Pro Max variants are expensive in India. The iPhone 15 Pro is 1,34,990 and the iPhone 15 Pro Max costs 1.6 lakh. That is twice as much as USA. Like, this is a Z Fold 5. It is almost 2 phones in one. It is cheaper than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But now, prices aside for all the made in India stuff, like the iPhone finally has Type-C, iPhone can play console level games, iPhone this, iPhone that, and we have already made a video on it, but the TLDR is the iPhone 15 base variant, this one. This is a really good update over the last year's iPhone 14. And this iPhone 15 Pro Max, well, it is the ultimate iPhone you can buy, but I'm sure you already knew that. So this will be a different video because we'll be looking at the bigger picture here and answer 2 major questions with the iPhone 15. From a practical standpoint, what are the exact upgrade and the changes? And if you are an Android user, should you jump ship and switch to an iPhone? Number 2, if you're already an iPhone user, should you upgrade to the newer iPhone 15 series? Well, if you're not already in the Apple Store queue, we have all the answers for you, rhyming, so stick around till the end of the video. Let's go. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of any iPhone color this year. Like, this is the blue color. It almost looks like white. Why would you call it blue if it's white? Although I do like the black color on the iPhone 15. Black looks like black. In the Pro variant, the natural titanium looks the best in my opinion. But again, looks are subjective. Like, Sayan says he loves the pink color, but I don't. Now, all of this apart, I would say there are 3 things with the new iPhone 15 series which the Android fanboy inside me finds pretty interesting, like the iPhones being Type-C now. Like, all of the Apple devices can now be charged with just one cable, but here's a couple of very interesting things. Number 1, if you connect an iPhone to an iPhone, the iPhone with the higher battery will charge the iPhone with the lower battery. If you connect any watch accessory TWS, it will charge all of them at 4.5 to 5 watt. And now if you connect an Android phone, it's random. In our case, it was charging Android phone every single time, no matter the charging percentage. And this is the closest we have come to a Samsung Apple collab, like, all thanks to Type-C. Now, Android phones also have this option called charge connected device where you can force to charge iPhone. I mean, options for the user in Android. Now, this Type-C is a big move because now you can charge the iPhone from any Type-C cable. Up until now, iPhones had the Lightning port, which was invented by Apple, and Apple made a small royalty fee of every official Lightning accessory sold out there. So it wasn't for the environment, it was for royalty. This should stop with Type-C now. Second, the iPhone 15 has USB-C, but it's the slow USB 2.0 port. The Pro models get the USB 3.0 port. Now, of course, the reason is the base iPhone gets last year's A16 chip, which doesn't support USB 2.0. But come on, Apple. It's 2023. USB 2 for a flagship smartphone is an L. Like, USB 2 was invented in 2000. This is 2023. Now, we'll come to the performance section in just a moment, but before that, this Type-C port here brings a lot of new things to the table. Like, for starters, see, here is the base variant. Now I can connect this dongle, connect an HDMI cable, and boom, you have iPhone on the TV. Plus, you can also connect a controller to the iPhone and play games on this larger display. Now, yes, it is not as full-fledged as Samsung's DeX, but I understand, better than the previous iPhones. Now, yes, while most of these features were already there in Android for a long time, it is good to see them on an iPhone. See? Get it? See? Moving on to the cameras, we took quite a few pictures with all the iPhone 15 series, and I would say camera is a bigger upgrade this year than last time. Like, all the variants now have a 48 megapixel camera, even the base iPhone 15, and the pictures look sharper. Even the HDR has gotten better from the last time. Now we'll mostly talk about the iPhone 15 Pro Max series because it has the biggest camera upgrade. We'll talk about the iPhone 15 later in some another video. Like now if you see here, the iPhone 15 Pro series now by default takes 24 megapixel photos. Like now they are sharper, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max now has better zoom. You get a 5x telephoto camera instead of a 3x telephoto camera, and damn, that 5x portrait photos and even these bird shots are very good. But few things to note. Apple advertised that this iPhone 15 Pro Max has 7 lenses in one. That's straight up marketing BS. Like if you go into the camera app and you tap on 1x, it goes to 1.2x. Again, if I tap on it, it goes to 1.5x. This doesn't mean that this 1.2x, 1.5x are different camera lenses. They are the same camera lenses and they are just being cropped in. If this was an Android brand, imagine the internet would have gone crazy on it. But kudos were due, like it is better than simply digitally cropped photos. Like see, I've clicked a picture of my t-shirt here in normal mode, and then this is zoom mode. And if I digitally zoom into the normal mode picture, see, it looks soft. Whereas the actual zoom shot has more clarity. So Apple is doing that software magic over here. And the most interesting feature is this, like I genuinely loved it. If you click a picture of a human subject in this normal mode, later on if you go into the photos, you can go over here and convert a normal photo into an actual portrait photo. You can actually change the focus in the photos. You can even adjust the blur level. This automatic portrait also works in selfie camera as well. But few caveats here, like this automatic portrait mode won't work in non-human subjects like this bottle over here or this BGMI girl. She's sad about it. So for non-human subjects, you'll still have to go to the portrait mode to get that fake blur. Other than this, since you get the Type-C port, you can actually connect an SSD to the iPhone and directly record video on it. But it only works if you're recording a ProRes video, which is totally understandable. Now yes, as an Android fanboy, 200 megapixel, 100x zoom, and this focus change thingy, it already existed on Vivo. So Android has been doing all of this stuff quite a while back, but you know, when Apple does it in a proper organized way. So we'll see more of this camera in a proper camera review or comparison. And finally, performance. The base iPhone 15 gets last year's processor A16. The new iPhone 15 Pro comes with the all-new 3nm A17 Pro chip, and here's the funny thing. See, all the variants starts from 128GB, except for Pro Max series, all the base variant of iPhone starts from 128GB, meaning you pay 1.35 lakhs and all you get is 128GB. I mean, like, come on, Apple. We have Motorola G84 launched this month at 20,000, starting at 256GB base variant. Well, maybe the EU can look into this as well. More storage space. Anyways, back to performance. So we ran Antutu benchmark, and here's how much the base iPhone 15 scores. And this is iPhone 15 Pro Max. And just to give you a perspective, we also had a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 phone. And the scores are good and all. But if you look at the detailed score, the 8 Gen 2 beats the A17 Pro in terms of graphics, which is very interesting. Like, Android processor is better than iPhone this year. Now let's try something new. So we'll hook up the iPhone to a big TV here. First up, let's try my favorite Genshin Impact. And oh my god, it looks so big on this TV screen. But you know, now you can pair the PS controller to the iPhone, and what would be good? Like a good car racing game like Grid. Hold on. Dude, it's so like well optimized. I can feel the vibrations on the controller, and whenever I cross over these red lines or this grass, there is that vibration of the texture. And even the buttons are auto optimized. Like if I have to look back, see? The latency is like almost zero to minimal. I can't even feel the difference when I click the buttons. Now, of course, the controller support depends from game to game. So if the game supports it really well, it works like a charm. So yeah, gaming experience is pretty good on the Pro series. Plus, Apple announced that later in the year, they will bring actual console level games to the iPhone Pro series. Resident Evil 4 Village and Assassin's Creed Mirage, that is huge. And playing those games on an iPhone is going to be mind-blowing. But the battery life goes like... Like we played for 1 hour on the TV, and battery life, if you see in this screenshot, went from 80 to 10% in just 1 hour. So yeah, that was our first impression of the new iPhones. Now to answer the question, are the new iPhones worth your money? Well, see, the iPhone 15 base variant starts from 79,900 rupees, and it does have quite a lot of upgrades compared to last year's iPhone. So if you have the budget and really want the good iPhone, I think iPhone 15 is the best and the default iPhone to go for this year 2023. But if you want to save money and still get a good iPhone, I would say the iPhone 13 is a good choice. It currently sells for 52,499 on Flipkart as of shooting this video. But during the upcoming Big Billion Day sale, it will come down even further below 50,000 or 45,000. So that also will be a very good option. And well, the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max is for enthusiast Apple people, there are better Android alternatives at a cheaper price like the Samsung S23 Ultra or the Z Flip, Z Fold series. They have even more storage, but who am I kidding? If you want to buy an iPhone, you will buy an iPhone and there's nothing wrong in that. Now let us know which Android phone do you want us to compare with this. I think S23 Ultra or S23 with the base iPhone makes really good sense. On that note, this is Pratik signing off from a very expensive video. See you in the next one. Pew, pew, pew.